Hey, good evening, everybody. My name is Carly Booz. I'm the Executive Director at the Affordable Housing Alliance of Central Ohio, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit tonight about a wonderful new website we have in Franklin County called Rentful614.com. This is Franklin County's eviction prevention hub. We know that right now in our state, 1 in 4 renters aren't sure how they're going to be able to pay their rent this spring. And as the daughter of 2 very lovely landlords, we know that this isn't just an issue that affects our renting population, that this is an economic development issue, it is a small business issue, and supporting those landlords' needs is important to making sure that not only those landlords have the operating revenue they need to maintain safe properties, but that they have the income needed to maintain and support their own families. Research also shows that this pandemic had an outsized effect on small and mid-sized landlords. Those who have 20 units or less were much more likely to see their income fall during COVID-19. Because of that, a number of factors, we are very thankful to be here in Franklin County in the state of Ohio, where we have millions of dollars of federal rent relief funds to help both tenants and landlords get the assistance they need to sustain. And that's what we do here at Rentful. We are the one-stop shop for getting housing help. And it's been working. It's been working quite well. Over 37,000 local families here in Franklin County alone have already received assistance, and we've been able to successfully distribute over $92 million through a wide network of community partners, which is just remarkable. I do need to express all of the thanks in the world to the City of Columbus, to the Franklin County Board of Commissioners, to the United Way of Central Ohio, and to the Seymour Institute, who really helped this resource come to life and have been remarkable supporters of our community since day one. What I'm going to do today is give you just a brief walkthrough of the website, show you around a little bit. Today, I'm going to focus on the landlord's journey and what the website has to offer for those business owners. If you are a tenant or a nonprofit, I would certainly encourage you to visit our YouTube page, where we've done a similar tour that's more focused on the tenant experience. So what I will do is I'll just go ahead and show you the website. As soon as you log in, it's just rentful614.com. If you are a landlord, the first thing you can do is you see these quick link buttons here, these highlighted buttons kind of populate all over the site. You just go straight to I am a landlord. As that's pulling up, you'll see right off the bat, we wanted to make sure that this was as quick and easy for you as possible. So there are fast jump links that get you to whatever you might be visiting for. So as it's pulling up, you'll see that there's a link, for instance, to get you to outreach and printable flyers. If you have a tenant who's struggling, you just want to print some collateral off to give to them so they can self-help. We want to make that easy for you to do. If you'd like to be able to apply for rent assistance directly, again, we have that quick link available on the website for you to do that as well. We also wanted to make sure that this program was incredibly transparent, that people who are participating, be they landlords or tenants, understand how the program was formulated, understand what the eligibility requirements are, and how it operates. So you'll see that embedded throughout the website. In particular, there are a few things that I would like to note. First of all, unlike a lot of other programs, renters do not need to be behind in rent to qualify. They do not need to have an eviction filing or an eviction notice in order to start that application. In fact, it's often better for everybody involved for us to be able to reach out to the tenant and provide that relief before they fall behind. We also want to note that applicants, landlords, and tenants can receive up to 18 months of assistance. So not only can we help pay off arrears and back rent that is owed, we can also look forward if that house remains financially unstable and in need of additional assistance. Also, unlike programs, this isn't limited to households with children. It's not limited to households that were infected with COVID-19 or that were laid off because of the pandemic. And as you can see, we are not limited to only tenants submitting applications, which is, I think, wonderful. It's somewhat unique within the United States. Landlords can go ahead if they have a tenant who is behind on rent or who is about to be. They could initiate that application, really take control of their own fate. We have throughout this website different resources for landlords, so how they can navigate through that process. But another thing that we really wanted to do was make sure that we were jumping ahead of certain misconceptions. We know anytime that there's a new program, rumors are going to follow it. We wanted this to be a really trusted resource for timely, accurate information. So some of the things that you'll see as I'm working my way through here are What does it take to actually speed up the approval process? We've learned a couple of things are true. It really helps for landlords to enroll in the ACH process so that we can skip the delay that comes with the U.S. Post Office. It also helps to know what is included on the W-2 and to make sure that your W-2 matches other information that's provided during the application process so that there's no inconsistencies. All those tips and tricks are embedded throughout this website for you to read through. We also know that when a renter may be behind in rent or struggling to pay rent, that can create a really frayed relationship between the landlord and their tenant. That's a relationship that we really want to protect and maintain because we know if that tenant does move out, if they are displaced, it's very difficult to provide aid to either of those households, to either the renter or to the landlord, even if there are past due rent arrears. So making sure that a tenant can maintain stable housing is really important. There are a lot of resources throughout the community. Community mediation services is a great one who can help navigate some of that relationship management work. As I mentioned, landlords can apply directly for this program. You do not need to wait for that tenant to initiate. We have about 11 different nonprofit providers who will accept applications directly from the landlord. That fluctuates a little bit every week as new nonprofits are enrolled in the program or as nonprofits reach their capacity point. Rentful is updated daily to make sure that you have the most accurate information possible. Continuing down through the landlord website, I want to show you that we were really intentional to include additional resources. So not only do we want to connect you with rent assistance, but we want you to be aware of what other pandemic relief programs are available to small business owners and how as landlords you might be able to access that. The same for other incentive programs, like how you can participate in the Metropolitan Housing Authority's vacancy payment program and enroll to receive housing choice vouchers and other initiatives like that. Similarly, we want you to make sure that if your own household is struggling while you wait for rent arrears to be paid, that you understand how you can access other federal programs to support your own mortgage and household stability. You will find an abundance of frequently asked questions. We update the FAQ section for landlords on this website almost weekly. We do want to make sure that we are getting ahead of any rumors, of any misconceptions about the program. So this is updated quite a bit. And you can find this on all sorts of topics. So we kind of start with the general one. Where does rent assistance go to? Typically, it does not go to the tenant. It goes straight to the landlord. What is the fastest way to get assistance paid? How can I confirm if my tenant was approved? There's a lot of questions that relate to the Alita 360 software program, which is how applications are submitted. We want you to know how to work through those processes. But we also have information on what to do if you have a larger rental portfolio that is not solely contained within Franklin County, and you need to access similar programs in other counties. Also, what to do if your tenant already received assistance but has received a new hardship or is continuing to struggle with rent, how you can re-enroll in the process and continue to get the support that is needed. So tons of great information in the FAQ. And I'll note too that we love to be collaborative. If there's a question that is really dogging you and you'd like to get an answer, shoot us an email. Like I said, we update this often and we will run down all of that for you and make sure it's included so everybody can benefit from that knowledge. On that note of collaboration, I will let you know that we have a monthly roundtable that is really reserved just for landlords, a space where you can kind of convene with each other, work through some of the challenges that you're experiencing, talk about how some of the economic shifts we're going through in this country are impacting your business model, and then speak with administrators of the Housing Assistance Program to find out how we can all link together and do a better job of making sure that your needs are met. That's a wonderful roundtable. Not only is a good place to get your Q&A answered, but I can post the questions that you surface in those meetings onto the website. So there's a really great feedback loop for people who might not have been able to attend. The other portion of this website that I want to jump over and show you real quickly is called Spread the Word. So I mentioned earlier that we know about a quarter of all tenants are struggling to pay rent. But we also know that not all of them are applying for rent assistance. That's a real gap in an era where we have the resources to prevent every economically motivated eviction, making sure that those are not left on the table. And importantly, making sure that landlords can avoid the costs that come with eviction by connecting you with these resources. We don't want you to go out of pocket to pay for an eviction attorney, to pay for eviction costs, to pay for the turn cost to your apartment, if we have the tools to be able to mitigate those expenses and keep your tenant stably housed. That's the best outcome for everybody. But we do need help. We need help spreading that word and getting this message out so anybody who is struggling knows that these tools are here for them. This Spread the Word page is designed to make that easy for you to do. We have these wonderful graphics. They're downloadable. They're printable. If I can pull it up quickly, I'll show you this outreach flyer. We chose to create the outreach flyer in a black and white color scheme, so that way it would be very easy for you to print and share. If it was something that you wanted to, for instance, include with your monthly invoices or attach to an email that goes out to your full tenant list. We wanted to make that something that was very nice and quick. We've got all of this here. You'll see we also have this outreach flyer available in Arabic as well as Nepali. Beyond that, we have the entire Rentful website translated into Somali and Spanish as well, so that it is as accessible to as many of our Franklin County residents as needed. And if there are additional languages that your tenants need translation in, again, shoot me an email. We would be happy to create that for you. I think that that's basically the short and the long of the tour. We would love for you to come poke around. Once again, it's www.rentful614.com. I promise it is simple, it is intuitive. You can't break it, so click around as much as possible. And I appreciate you tuning in and listening to us today. Thanks so much for your time. Have a great evening.